Ferdinand Bongbong Romualdez Marcos Jr. as the duly elected President of the Republic of the Philippines.
The news day continues here on One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. Several progressive groups staged protests today as President Bongbong Marcos marks his first 100 days in office. For updates, we have JC Cosico reporting to us live from Mindiola, Manila. JC, good afternoon. Can you tell us the latest?
Riza, the program has just finished here along Recto Avenue, but earlier tensions arose between police and progressive groups as progressives were barred by police to go here in Mindiola as they don't have a permit to hold their gathering here. And apart from that, police say that Mindiola is not a freedom park. Riza.
JC, can you give us a rough estimate as to how many protesters or groups gathered there today?
Riza, police over 200 progressives going to the protests earlier. They are saying that the battle of police to conduct their activity here in Mindiola is a violation of freedom of speech. But according to police, they also insisted that here is again not permitted, and again this area is not a freedom park here in Manila. Riza.
JC, again, with that being said, how many were the forces from the police side? And were there any interactions between the police and the protesters?
Riza, over 100 police individuals or police personnel were deployed in the area to ensure security. Again, tension arose earlier as progressive going here in Mindiola, but again, police insisted that this is the area to why these groups were forced to hold their rally to mark the first of PBBM along Recto Avenue. Riza.
JC, were you able to talk to some of the members of the progressive groups? How would they assess the president's first 100 days in office?
Riza, groups slammed the president's supposed inaction during his 3 months in office, giving PBBM a rating of 0, saying they also slammed the visit of PBBM in Singapore to watch the Grand Prix just days after Luzon battled Super Typhoon Karding last month. They also want the president to have a concrete plan and a solution to address several social issues.
Thank you. That was JC Cosico reporting live from the city of Manila. Meanwhile, President Marcos Jr.'s cabinet members commended him following a series of official trips abroad. The details in this report by Vicky.
While President Bongbong Marcos shows pride for a quote, functional government that his administration has achieved for the first 100 days in Malacanang, political analyst and UP professor Jean Encinas Franco gave the president 4 out of 10. Franco said that's because the administration has failed to craft a concrete plan for the next 6 years.
We have a president who overwhelmingly won with a very huge mandate. But then it also comes with huge expectations. I'm not so sure if I'm going to give him a satisfactory assessment of his first 100 days, mainly because I'm looking for a solution that is innovative and big in the sense that it has a huge impact. It will be remembered by people in the next 6 years.
Trade Secretary Alfredo Pascual, on the other hand, believes that the first 100 days of the president have been fruitful. He said trade commitments that they have earned from the president's trip in Indonesia, Singapore, and the US are the best achievements of the economic so far.
We've been meeting every week, when we're here. I mean, it's a lot of work. On Monday, I will make a presentation to the president on on the follow-up on the investment prospects that we have identified. There are, of course, concerns that have to be ironed out. So pag-uusapan namin, maraming trabaho, hindi to laro, ano?
Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin earlier described the first 3 months of President Marcos as inspiring, but ordinary Filipinos are divided on their assessments.
Yun yung mga nagustuhan ko sa kanya, yung may mga platform na siya sa pagbabago ng natin, ng bansa natin. Kagaya nung subway, yun, agriculture.
Improve yung mga dapat salary. Salary tsaka yung mga bill ng kuryente, tubig. Yun ang number 1 na kailangan naming mahihirap eh.
For News 5, Faith Del Mundo, we are One News.
We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. Soil biologists are not often heard of when people talk about farming practices. But how big is their role in helping farmers fight against climate change? Let's watch this.
In order to become a soil biology consultant, there is a certified consultants training program. There's a lot of continuing education that's involved in this type of work. There's a tremendous amount of science coming out about the role of soil biology, soil health, plant health. How do we actually take those discoveries and apply them practically to our clients and our farmers? Some of my clients, I will interact with them once or twice per year. Other of my clients, I'll interact with them all throughout the entire growing season. It does fluctuate, but really I carry about 15 active clients at a time. We are on our way to go visit Kwame and Jake at Moorish Roots Farm, which is a farm that is north of Portland and just south of Washington State. My role is to look at the techniques that they use and determine, is it harmful to the soil biology? Is it beneficial, or is it neutral? And the way I really look at this with my clients, it's a partnership. From what I know about Kwame and Jake's operation is that they're already, fairly far ahead of the game as far as trying to develop a regenerative organic farm. So I'll learn a lot more when I actually get on site. We'll take some soil samples and we'll baseline and say, okay, this is where our starting point is. And then now let's try to incorporate some of these tools or techniques to try to increase the biology.
I'm relying on the natural, plant tell me.
Yeah, sometimes the plants won't tell you they're stressed early on. And then all of a sudden, by the time they get stressed, you're like,
stressed.
oh gosh, okay, I got challenges, yeah. I'll collect soil samples, take compaction measurements, water infiltration. I want to take it halfway in the drip line. And if you've never heard the term before, drip line, all that means is the outer edge of the leaf makes a line, and that's what we call the drip line. So halfway between the outer edges of the leaf to the stem is where you want to collect your soil sample. That's where you're going to have kind of an average amount of roots growing in the system. So take your fingers down here, pop yourself a little hole. Perfect. Fantastic. Good deal. I'm going to take some of the compost you guys have on site, and when I go back, I'll assess it under the microscope and then let you know. When we take a soil sample, we will do what we call a biological assessment of that soil. What we're using is a microscope to identify organisms like bacteria and fungi and protozoa and nematodes. And then understanding those populations of organisms tells us a lot about the condition of the soil and is it optimal for the plants that we're trying to grow. I get asked the question from a lot of folks that are looking to get into this type of work. Can I make a living wage? And my answer to them is yes. The need and the opportunity space to be able to do this work is tremendous. And there's so few of us that are actually doing this work that having access to clients is not an issue. There is going to be a massive transition away from agrochemical to farming with biology. It just makes sense. We know we can do it. As more farmers actually make the transition from their typical agrochemical or traditional organic to farming with soil biology, their successes are going to drive other farmers into wanting to apply these practices.
Let's now take a quick look at today's other top stories. The LTFRB has named board member Engineer Riza Marie Paches as its new officer in charge. This comes after attorney Sheloy Garafil resigned and transferred to the press secretary office. PHIVOX reports that no volcanic earthquake was recorded at the Mayon volcano in the past 24 hours. Alert level 2, however, remains in effect over possible phreatic eruptions. And Unioil Philippines projects a big-time price hike for petroleum products next week, and up to 6 peso increase per liter is expected for diesel, while gasoline prices are likely to go up by over a peso. Now for more updates, visit News 5, the Philippine Star, and Business World Online. Visit our website onenews.ph for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on Signal Play app. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Riza Diaz. We are One News.